This podcast is brought to you by Penji. Penji is a creative subscription service that gives you access to pre-vetted, agency-trained creatives from all over the world. From graphic design to illustrations to social media management and web development, it's all included for one monthly price. It's time to say goodbye to the hassle of searching for top-notch creative talent. With Penji, you get quality and consistency delivered right to your inbox every day. Carefully crafted for you by humans. So meet your new creative team today. Head over to penji.co for more and enter the coupon code located within the podcast show notes.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Fully Managed by Penji podcast, the podcast where we discuss marketing and business tips to help assist you in your business journey. I'm your host, Oliver, Penji's partnership advisor, and today I'm joined by a very special guest, Maren Hogan from redefines Media. Maren, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This is wonderful.
I appreciate that. Now, before we dive into redefines Media, like I said, we'll warm up with a quick game I call Pitch Me This. You'll have 30 seconds to sell me this business idea around the prompt I give you. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. So the prompt for today is a PR firm that communicates exclusively in haikus. Go.
Oh, wow. Well, I think I would probably name it like 575 or whatever the syllables for haiku are. And then I would probably have most of my ads be like that. I would probably build out my carousels. And how I would pitch the actual value is that humans' attention spans are shortening, and short and memorable is the way to go. And it's one of the oldest forms of poetry and communication in the world. And that's why large, complex, and sophisticated businesses should buy in.
That's great. I like that you just said it, that our attention spans are getting shorter. I mean, I'm all for honesty, and yeah, I agree with you. Our attention spans with everything that's been going on. We know the reels, the TikToks, and now we can turn that into text-based form communication with the haikus. That's great. Mm-hmm. That's great to hear. So yeah, to start us off, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how redefines Media came to life?
Yeah, so we've been around about 15 plus years now. redefines Media was started when it was just me, and I wanted to be home. I had 3 young sons at the time. Now I have 3 older sons. And they're off at college and being grown-ups and all that stuff. But then I wanted to be home with them, and I started with just like blogging and social media. And if you'll recall, around 2010, well, I don't even know if you were in the working world, but around then, social media was really picking up, and it was kind of still not in its infancy, but certainly in its childhood. And so that kind of just exploded, and a lot of my work and writing and stuff was primarily in HR technology companies, and that sort of led itself into broader B2B. I've never worked at an agency before in my life, and neither has anybody that works for me. I have severe ADHD, which I think really helps, because one of our differentiators, I feel like, is that we build out templates and processes. So for CEOs that are all over the place, because as the firm grew, our need for very clear communication and very templated and standardized processes became apparent. And so, yeah, today we have people all over the world. We are in HR technology, fintech, medtech, and eerily enough, nonprofit. And we're doing fantastic. We made it through COVID. We're making it through whatever this is. And redefines is healthy and thriving.
That's great to hear. And also around 2010, I was in high school, yes, but I remember starting hearing the rumors about Facebook and things like that, and how our teacher teaches us how to create an account in there, because until then I only knew about emails, and I thought, yeah, emails are the future. But now with social media, yeah, well, that was the future back then. So yeah, it's great to hear your perspective, because you had more experience in that than me. There is one thing that I would like to highlight about redefines Media, is that I read about you guys, and it's often described as the anti-agency agency. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, that kind of ties into what I was saying before, where like we've never worked at an agency. So when we get on the phone and people are like, no, we've tried agencies before. We've been burnt by them before. And this is no disrespect to other agencies. I genuinely don't know how they work, but I know that when people work with Red Branch, they consistently across the board for 15 years have said, this is not like any agency I've ever worked with. And the better way to describe it is it's more like an outsourced business provider, just in marketing services and communication and sort of CRO level type of things. And so we have what we call memberships, and that essentially gives our clients the ability to decide where their hours go, what we work on, whether it's design or dev or strategy or content or what have you. And then they're able to meet the goals that they want to with the different tactics and services that we offer, rather than our tactics and services that we offer dictating what their goals should be. And so we feel like we're not big on, 6-month-long branding exercises. We don't do, workshops where we hand you a big binder of stuff that you then have to do. We're very much a US Midwest ethic, like hard work, get it done, pragmatic, tactical, but with strategic insight kind of agency. It's a very long answer to a very short question.
Oh yeah, but it goes like straight to the point. There's work to do, and we do that work. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's great to hear that, to have that perspective here. I feel like it's one of the most unique, let's call it, flavors of marketing that I've seen, because I talk with a lot of agencies, and this is one of the first times that I hear about that type of work. I assume that when you were beginning RBM a couple of years ago, more than 10 years ago, was it always like this since the beginning, or how has your agency evolved from then?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's evolved in size, but we've gone up like to, I know this doesn't sound like that big, but we've been as high as like 40 people, and we've been as small as, just myself and a couple of other people, and of course just myself. So we've evolved a few times. I would say the first big evolution is when we realized that more people doesn't necessarily mean more productivity. That was a good leadership lesson for me. And my team. I have two wonderful partners who help me run the agency, Eric Fouch and Jeremy Hogan. And the second time that we, shout out. The second time that we evolved was probably the membership model, when we realized that we got away from typical SLAs and said, again, we don't want our tactics that you signed up for dictating our strategy 6 months from now or a year from now. Because one of the great things about our agency is our clients have tremendous tenure. Many of our clients, one of our clients has been with us since we began. So for 15 entire years, we've been through a couple of CEOs and CMOs and mergers and rebrands. But our clients had a lot of tenure, and we realized that memberships were a much better, more flexible option. And they told us, we really like having that flat fee every month. We don't want to have to worry about scope creep. We don't want to have to worry about, changing midstream and figuring out how we're going to pay for that, because a developer costs a different amount of money than a social media specialist. At Red Branch, your hour is your hour, no matter who you're working with, whether you're working with me or an intern. So that was the next evolution, and that really spurred on the sort of marketing as a service. And then I would say our most recent revolution our most recent evolution is that at some point we realized when we had maybe more people, or maybe we were really trying to engineer the marketing services and the membership model, we kind of over-engineered some things. So now we're pulling back, minimizing, just accoutrement around what we do, and just getting down to doing the work. Because I really feel like the market right now, and this is something I'm pretty passionate about, even though I know you didn't ask about it, that people in this current climate are really just struggling to get through their day and get their work done, because it's very hard to focus with so much chaos happening around us. And so our big thing is we help our clients to help their clients and prospects. People don't want to read a 25-page white paper about your talent management system. They want a workbook that they can fill out, or a letter that they can forward to their CFO, or, a swipe file that they can take to, easily engage on social media. So we're trying truly to be very helpful right now, because that's really, I think, the only way to sort of get through this from a B2B perspective.
Yep, that's great to hear. You mentioned this about being helpful, and I really relate to that because I'm just speaking of a personal experience. I love helping people. I love helping businesses because of two reasons. One of them is because, you can. I think that their face or the satisfaction I get when I see them, hey, you managed to find a solution to our problem. And this is something that I've seen in my past years as a marketing, like a marketing guy. And the other reason is because I see it more like a puzzle too. There's a problem, there's a solution that I can find, and it's just like, it's very satisfying to find a solution. So my question is, do you feel like that when you're helping these agencies, when you're helping these clients?
Definitely. You know how you just get in the zone when you're doing something that you're good at. And so, like, false humility serves nobody. I'm very, very good at what I do, and my people are very good at what we do. And when you get into it and you're actually solving a problem for somebody, you're really like, you're getting it, it's clicking, everything's moving. It's an incredible feeling. And it's also, again, to go with that message of simplicity that we were discussing before, sometimes it's not as hard as you think. Sometimes it truly is point A is here and point B is here, and one line connects the two. It doesn't have to be, multi-attribution, whatever. Sometimes it just can be like, I want this person to buy my stuff. How do I make them buy my stuff? And we just come up with something that's simple. Maybe that's why the Haiku PR agency resonated. I hope you're not going to trademark that after the show.
I won't know where all of my prompt ideas are stay with our guests. Don't worry about that. So speaking of ideas, speaking of services, speaking of the way that you guys work, can you walk us through your core services with Red Branch Media?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sorry. Can you repeat the last bit of that?
We're speaking of services, speaking of how you guys work, can you walk us through your core services with Red Branch Media?
Oh, yeah, of course. So pretty much we're very holistic and comprehensive. I believe that marketing impacts marketing, whether it's SEO, content, web dev, design, brand, PR, social media, all of it. It has to work together. So we've worked with clients that have other SEO agencies, other design agencies, devs, so on and so forth. But I believe, whether it's within Red Branch or not, that those things have to happen holistically. So our core services are strategy and sales enablement, content marketing, essentially anything that the written word is, we pull out. We have design and branding. We have web dev and systems integration. And sometimes we've even helped some of our clients build new product features and new products within their suite because we've become so embedded in their organization. We have outreach, which for us means public relations, analyst relations, and social media. We have growth, which is SEO, SEM, and email, like lead scoring and things like that, CRM. And then we have digital ads, which is not just digital. It's kind of a misnomer, but it's sort of stuck. We also do like out of home, things that you see on top of gas stations and the back of bathroom doors and, billboards and things like that. So there's a lot of different kinds of things that we do. And the reason that I feel like all of those things working together is so impactful is because the memberships sort of make it so that everybody gets access to virtually all of those things. Whether you're a bronze member and you get your hours and you can use them on any one of those services, or you're a platinum level client and you can use them on any of those services as well. So it's genuinely just figure out which marketing pieces you need. I mean, the only thing we don't do is like outbound calling, but everything else, we jump in and just become an extension of the marketing team. So any marketing team in any business should have a full marketing team if they have a Red Branch Media membership.
That's a complete service of many different branches of marketing into one.
Yeah.
I like that all of this is like focus in these membership services. But there's one thing that I always like to ask these agencies that offer these many different kinds of services is how has the AI advent here in the marketing world affected the type of services that you bring? Do you feel like it has enabled you to offer more of these services because it's easier to do them now? Or how do you feel about that?
Yeah, so I was just talking to my team about this yesterday, actually. We have been involved in AI since before 2020. And we rolled it out. I rolled it out very, very carefully. I started playing with it. I played with it for like a year, 18 months. Then I expanded it to my partners, then my account managers, and then the entire team. We have a very comprehensive AI policy that's right there on our site for everyone to see. We've even had clients and other people that aren't clients adapt it to their own personal use. So I feel strongly about a couple of things. First, AI needs to be managed ethically and safely. We don't know what we don't know in many, many cases so far, so we have to proceed with caution. I always joke people are like running like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible towards this complete monolith that we know nothing about, and it actually cracks me up. However, I'm not a proponent of AI. We do use it within the agency, and I was telling my team, if you're just using AI to do what you did a year ago, just more of it, that's not the point. More mediocrity is not the point. The point is to use it to automate the parts of your job that it's going to take anyway. It's going to take, your SEO reports that get compiled from Ahrefs and sends them out to clients. That's already going to be, that's not even AI, that's just automation, right? But if you automate those things, then use the time that you have left for two things. First thing, while we're still, sort of living in the world that we're living in, is to get better, like invest more and learn more about other parts of your job that make you more strategic, that make you impossible to replace with AI. So yes, it has allowed us to do more things faster, but we're using the saved time to make the things that we do better. And the second thing is I'm a huge believer in the productivity paradox. Probably nobody else in the business world says this as much as I do, but I really want to get to the place where we have a 4-hour work or a 4-day work week. I really want to get to the place where, all this productivity that we're saving results in fewer working hours for my people, for myself, and hopefully for as many people as possible. Do I think that's going to happen? Probably not, but I hope for it anyway.
Well, all of the hopeful visions for the future are welcome here in Fully Managed. But yeah, that's one of the most positive things I heard about AI here in the podcast too. Not only we use it as a tool, yes, but don't leave the human part out of it. If you have some time that you save with because using these AI tools, use it to improve your knowledge, use it to improve yourself. So yeah, it's great to hear that Red Branch Media uses AI in this capacity. One thing that I'd like to ask about that is how crucial of a role has these improvements, like these human improvements of your employees, played in the growth of your business?
I would say AI came at a weird time because it came sort of when I started looking at it, it was like the beginning of COVID. And then we were, we had a few good years, and then we started sort of struggling with inflation, not us, but like, America, where most of our clients are, although we do have global clients. And what it did was allow us to keep everyone on and keep our prices the same through those very chaotic years, which I think would have made it very difficult. So my team was allowed to learn AI and make a mistake or two and figure things out without having to be like, oh, I have to find a job. Oh, we have to make sure that, we keep this client or that client. It's not a money-making type of success, but I would say it's a type of success where by the time agentic rolled around, we realized, okay, well, if someone can make an agent that does what I do, then we need to do that. And then I need to level up to be on that, right? I need to become that agent's manager. and then this agent's manager. So as like Pac-Man, as it eats parts of your job, it's your job to like find other things to make yourself more, again, irreplaceable. So I don't know if that's the standard definition of success, but I would say that's really helped us. And it's helped us, we don't like actually publish it, but it's helped us work with a couple of startups that probably couldn't meet our minimums. It's helped us work with a couple of nonprofits that didn't have the cash for a full-on membership. Now, we're not putting that out there for everyone. I'm just saying that it's allowed us to work on things that we believe in, even if they didn't have the resources to hire a firm like Red Branch.
Yeah, just a great flexibility offer because of the way that you guys work. And are there like any stories or client projects that stand out between those types of things that you've done, types of work that you've done?
Oh my goodness. Well, there are like personal like triumph stories that I really love, but then there's ones where I remember we went through a massive conference. It's called SHRM, which is like the Society for Human Resources Management. It's massive. They have like a lobbying organization. Anyway, they have these big conferences, and for one brand that was rebranding, a new name, new colors, the whole bit. We held a funeral, like a classic New Orleans funeral, which I don't know if you know what these are like, but they're like very showy, and there's a big band. So we held a funeral for the old brand. That was very, very fun and very, very memorable. We've hosted a couple of workshops for our clients and for prospects that people have left feeling very impacted, and like they learned a lot from what we sort of taught them, and those have always been memorable to me. And then I have a few people actually in the space where I'm most heavily involved, which is HR technology, come to me and said, if you hadn't, built my website for free, I would never be in the place that I am now. And, I'm so grateful to you, or this or that. And it's not just me, obviously. I don't build websites, right? My team does. And I always make sure to remind people of that. But yeah, seeing the mark that we've made on that industry and the other industries in which we've worked has been fantastic. And I think we recently built a website for a very, very large brand that we're not allowed to talk about. But now every time I see it, online or on TV or anything like that, I'm like, that's us. So yeah, a lot of memorable projects, but some of them wouldn't be memorable to anybody else. We've worked with over 200 companies. So there's a lot of stories, but when I went to do our case studies, I realized how many different ways we've helped people sort of push forward their dreams. And that's what I tell my team, and that's what I tell myself. It's hard to get excited about HR tech, if we're being honest, right? Some things just aren't exciting all the time. And when I was like, my motivation though is that I work, you work, everyone around us works. What we do is indirectly impacting virtually everyone on the planet, right? So, or at least of working age on the planet. And so that makes me feel like what I do is meaningful. It's not brain surgery. It's not, it's not saving the rainforest, but it is important.
Yeah, it is important. And I love that you mentioned there's one key word that you mentioned. It was about their dreams, pushing their dreams forward. And, me as a fellow marketer who has been who has helped many businesses since 2017, I realized now that I maybe didn't see it as, hey, I'm helping push their dreams forward. I only saw it, hey, I'm doing a job for them. But looking back, when I remember their faces when they said, hey, thank you for making my website, or hey, thank you for launching my Google Ads campaigns. I got some results in here, which I'm sure you also get this type of messages because of your work with Red Branch Media. I just now realized that, I am helping make their dreams come true. Even if their dreams is something like, hey, I want a small business, I want some small online business. No dream is too small to become a reality. And it's just a great insight that I would like to highlight here, pushing their dreams forward. I just love it. I just love it,
I'm
Maren.
glad that resonates with you because it always starts out as somebody's dream. And part of the reason that we can do that is because in our contract it says we don't work with, well, it doesn't say jerks, it says a bad word, but we don't work with people who are not
Yeah,
interested in making the world a better place, at least a little.
yeah, at least a little. Now that you've been with this type of businesses for about 15 years, if you could share, let's say, one insight or perspective that every business leader here in the marketing world could understand about the businesses that you help, what would it be?
I mean, I've said it a lot of times. I've written it a lot of times. I've talked about it a lot of times. I firmly believe that marketing and even selling, right? And marketing is kind of like the precursor to selling, is like it is attraction. At its most fundamental form, it is attraction. So if you are not the kind of person who can figure out why that person's standing in the corner at the party and who you should introduce them to because you know that they have similar interests, if you don't understand why, someone cancels last minute or whatever it is, if you don't understand people and how to make people feel comfortable, how to make people feel needed, and how to make people feel heard, which is the essence of attraction. I don't just mean like obviously like male female dating type attraction, but if you don't know how to do those things, if you don't know how to attract people and make them feel heard, marketing will not be fun or easy for you. And I think we're seeing that more and more as people kind of turn away from the old sales tactics and want to find their own way through educational content or through things that actually help them do their day-to-day jobs. I don't know if that's specifically what you were asking, but I think that's one thing that every marketer from, a college kid who's about to graduate to, old crusty agency owner like me, I feel like marketing is attraction unless you really seek out what makes other people tick, you're not going to be any good at it.
I mean, that's the very essence of marketing. If people are not attracted to what you are saying, what you are showing, well, there are no sales. People will know anything about it. So yeah, just like you were honest earlier in the podcast, you are honest now, telling us, yeah, marketing is attraction. Straight up, straight up, we do the job. Straight up, here's my message.
Well, marketing is knowing how to attract, because they might never be attracted to my product ever. And like they might never look twice. I have to find a way to put it in front of them in a way that they're like, oh, that actually is the solution to my problem.
Yeah. So they can look back. They have to look forward to the project. Now that speaking of looking forward, and this is a question that I would like to ask at the end of our podcast, is how do you see Red Branch Media doing in the next couple of years? Any milestones that you would like to have?
Well, I don't know if it's a milestone, but I am going to be moving to Australia in a few months. And so that has been something that we've been planning for with our processes and our operations, trying to get on, master asynchronous communication and build out, re-engineer our processes so they're streamlined and simple and can work across very disparate time zones. So that'll be a big milestone for us, I think. I also think what we were talking about earlier when we were discussing AI, just helping my people to level up. I really do want us to be able to have a 4-day work week, and maybe someday even less than that. That's my goal, is to get me and my people there. So I would say those are the two things. I don't think I'll ever stop running Red Branch Media because it's what I'm good at, and I think it's kind of my life's purpose. And also because I couldn't, bear to be without my awesome team.
That's great to hear. One of the most positive and exciting visions of the future we had here in the Fully Managed podcast. And with that vision of the future of Red Branch Media, I will wrap up today's conversation. Thank you so much for sharing your story and the impact your team is having, helping these companies around the world in the marketing world. For anyone listening, if you'd like to learn more about Red Branch Media and their unique approach to marketing, you can check out the links in the description. As always, thank you all for tuning in. And Maren, thank you once again for your time.
Thanks, Oliver. Appreciate it.
Bye.
You've been listening to Fully Managed, brought to you by Penji. Check out the show notes to learn more about today's guest. And to learn more about Penji, the human-first creative subscription service, head over to penji.co. And by the way, if you're still listening, it would mean the absolute world to us if you were to share this podcast with a friend and, of course, subscribe.